Hello, this is Paige McNamee from Finextra TV, and for this latest episode of Finextra Unplugged, I'm speaking with Ken Weber of Ripple. Hi, Ken. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Paige. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Now, you as the head of social impact at Ripple, you would know everything that's going on across digital payments and blockchain technologies. Can you explain to me why we need to focus on building clarity and understanding around blockchain technologies?
That's a great question, and there are many reasons. This is a very new and complex technology, and we're early on in the cycle of understanding and adoption and innovation with it. And it really is broadly applicable across business sectors, across various different aspects of society. I think we're in maybe a second stage, if you will, the early stage being a lot of confusion and flurry and activity, a lot of hype. I think we're now settling into a phase of actual use cases, a bit of history, performance of these technologies and the impact that they can have. From a business standpoint, a little bit of a settling out of, if not winners and losers, certainly leaders and laggards. I think perhaps the most compelling reason to have clarity and a broad understanding is that these are potentially transformative technologies. They're not only transformative for business and banking and payments globally and the global financial system. They also have wide applicability across industry and industry sectors. I'm sure you and your audience have heard many of the wonderful early applications in agriculture and shipping and healthcare and civil society. And from a social impact standpoint, these technologies are very, very promising, particularly as it relates to including and more fairly treating literally billions of adults who have to this point not been full participants in the global financial system or frankly in globalization.
No, absolutely. And how is Ripple working with academia and industry bodies to encourage understanding and awareness around the opportunities that blockchain presents?
I would say in a word, very closely. I guess that's two words. As a technology company, we recognize that academia, faculty, students, and institutions of learning have a very significant role to play in the adoption and innovation around any new technology like this. We've seen it with other technologies in the past, certainly with the internet. We decided fairly early on for us as a company that it would be important for us as an ecosystem actor, as a company that is interested in seeing a rising tide lift all boats, seeing the global blockchain ecosystem develop and be in the light, and to have many use cases and to be transparent and adoptable by so many. We took perhaps a unique route. Instead of giving money to universities to have them do proprietary research around our technology and patents and our particular products and services, we've gone to them and given with an open hand. We've given philanthropic grants to almost 40 universities in 15 or 16 countries globally. And they can do whatever they want with it, certainly within the blockchain and crypto space. We are intensely collaborative with many of our university partners, but again, the applicability of the research and the technology innovation that's happening within what we call the university blockchain research ecosystem is for everybody. It's broadly applicable and accessible.
Yeah, it sounds like the work will be impacting many people across lots of different circles, which is really valuable. We've recently heard, onto something a little bit more contextual, I suppose. We've heard Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, publicly consider a relocation from the US to the UK because of regulatory differences of Ripple's cryptocurrency XRP. Can you talk me through the impact that changing or perhaps unclear regulations can have on a firm such as Ripple, and the work that's being carried out regarding the regulation of blockchain and of cryptocurrencies?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say very simply that, you know, I think our even talking about it is a bit of an expression of an expression of frustration within the United States context, that there isn't as much regulatory clarity as there might be. And, you know, we are a global company. Our customers are global. Obviously, the global financial system is everywhere. We have a wonderful office in London already, and, you know, tremendous respect for London as a global financial center. But there are no specific plans to relocate the headquarters. That's something that we're considering and looking at all of our options there, but there's really nothing additional to say about that right now.
Oh, sure. I mean, just off the back of it, do you think that there is enough work being carried out regarding the regulation of blockchain across markets? Can you speak any more to what's happening in the States?
I don't know that I can speak specifically to what's happening in the United States, although, you know, Ripple is known for, you know, its positioning, its willingness to work with existing central banks, policymakers, regulators, and within the existing system. We're not, you know, seeking to replace it. We're seeking to transform it and improve it in important ways. So that's an ongoing, in the United States, that's an ongoing process, as it is around any issue in any industry. You know, we certainly are very active in our relationships with central banks in other markets. We have wonderful strategic partners, customers in markets that, you know, are certainly more forward and where there's more clarity around these technologies, places like Singapore, Japan, the UK, and others. So we're certainly very active in leaning in within those markets.
Do you lean in perhaps with your crypto competitors insofar as trying to promote a discussion around regulatory concerns?
We are certainly, I would say, competitive in every sense from a business standpoint, but also cooperative in terms of our view that, you know, we need to build a large and robust and sustainable system, and that there'll be many actors within that. There'll be many payment processors. There'll be, you know, multiple currencies. Hopefully there'll be dozens, if not hundreds, of central bankers involved, and they may have central bank digital currencies or other policies and products that are being brought to bear on the system. But yeah, again, at this stage of the game, the answer is generally yes. We want to see lots of companies succeed across lots of sectors in lots of markets.
Oh, that's good to hear. Good to hear about any form of collaboration. So now, onto more social, I suppose, more of your direct realm. We know that Ripple for Good has made concerted efforts with COVID-19 and ESG, but what is it that makes Ripple itself an effective tool for launching and for supporting social and environmental initiatives?
Another great question. You know, first of all, we're humble and realistic about the potential for a relatively small company to have an impact on the wider world, but that doesn't mean we're not serious about it. And so I think that seriousness of purpose and of commitment that emanates from our founder, Chris Larson, who is himself very philanthropic, from our CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, also philanthropic, and someone who's been in Silicon Valley for many, many years. There's a recognition that as a technology company, we want to be not just disruptors, but more builders, that we want to be an ethical tech company, that we want to have perhaps no bad consequences, intended or unintended, but only good consequences. And it's embedded in the central business mission of Ripple to complete globalization and to bring more people into the global financial system in a way that is fair and equitable, and in a way that not only puts money back in their pockets, whether it's an individual or a household or a small or medium-sized enterprise, but that also creates economic opportunity for them. As you may know, there are roughly 5.5 billion bankable adults in the world. There are an estimated 1.7 who are not included, who don't have bank accounts or access to basic financial services. And we have a growing network of NGO partners and governmental partners who we're working with to understand how blockchain and digital assets can help to build on-ramps for those 1.7 billion unbanked and vulnerable populations. In the middle, there are 2 billion people who have who are included in the global financial system, but they're not treated fairly. The services that they have to are overpriced, whether they're cross-border payments like remittances that carry exorbitant fees, whether they're lines of credit or loans that have too onerous an interest rate. And we see this technology and the application of this technology not only by Ripple, but by Ripple's hundreds of customers and in so many markets around the world who themselves directly serve the 2 billion people in the middle of the global financial system. They share that sense of purpose and that sense of mission around creating more economic fairness and opportunity. From an unbanked standpoint, those partnerships with organizations like Mercy Corps, which operates in 40 countries in the global south, with organizations like Kiva, who are enabling small loans to tens of millions of borrowers in more than 80 countries. Our work with the Gates Foundation and the Mojo Loop Initiative, which is a mobile money interoperability platform, which is designed to help emerging markets bring more citizens and consumers on board. Those are all, very complementary to the work we're doing as a core business, but all pointed at the same goal of having this impact. So I'll stop there.
No, that's absolutely fantastic, and it's good to hear that these kind of socially focused initiatives are going right to the core of everything that Ripple's doing. So that sounds like you've been very, very busy at Ripple. Thank you so much for joining me today, Ken. It was really great to speak with you.
Thanks, Paige. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.